Yo, 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 everybody, what is up? OCD Mikey, Hi Fi Guy here again, live streaming, live at you from Atlanta, Georgia. And welcome everyone to the show. I was scheduled to go to a concert tonight, but I am too shot, man. I'm too shot out, and the concert would have been a heavy duty boogie scene for hours, and it was a long drive, crazy parking, all that shit. I got to be up for that. And so I couldn't do it, man. I didn't do it. Fish, in case you guys are wondering, you're all going to be. There's Tom. Tom told me about it. Tommy, you gave me enough. Didn't make Fish. I listen to Fish, bro, and I'm like, Fish is heavy, bro. I don't think I can handle a show like that today with how I'm feeling. I had to do a judgment call. I'm like, man, that's a commitment, a Fish show. It's like the Dead, bro. I mean, I was listening to it today and I'm like, geez, it's just like the Dead. The jams are endless. And it's that's a heavy one, man. Welcome to Seattle. Your MPD8 AI is coming, Brent. And so get ready to pack your MPD8 up. I sold it today. And then the other one is going somewhere else. If anybody wants an MPD8, man, it's time to step up. I think I've got access to maybe 4 more until March. I sold out again everything I have, so I better grab the other 4 and then I'll have them until March. So nobody's getting shit until March. I'm gonna buy them all. Anyways, so you'll have to definitely capitalize on that shit. Evening, hey tribe, what's up, Tommy? Hang on a second. Let me do this. I gotta do this 1 second because now, whoopsie. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Just had to make sure that was in the pipe so I can smoke it. Okay, Seattle checking in. Evening, Tommy from Portland, Andy from Iowa. What's up, brother? The beautiful horses. This guy has some beautiful horses, man. He's a horse trainer. You got to be in the right place mentally and physically for that kind of show. That's exactly how I felt, bro. I was listening to it and I was like, oh my God. You know, I'm not going to dose anymore, but I almost felt like, dude, I need to be dosed for this shit. Like I need to be full tilt. Like I'm way too tired. There's no way I can handle that kind of boogie for that long of jams. I'm going to be mentally exhausted. But guess what's tomorrow? Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. So we're going to Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. So we saved up our energy for the Priest. I've never seen Judas Priest or Alice Cooper, and it might be one of the few times that I get to see him. They'll be back. Yeah, man. And I can go to Florida for shows too. Hey, Rev, congrats on your MPD8. Yeah, he's getting an AI. Jared, where's the new timepiece, brother? It's right here, man. Jared already knows. Look, Jared's inner scoop with me, man. He's inner fam. You guys will know more about Jared later. But here is the new watch, you guys. See if I can get it to focus. It's a Reverso Grand Tile Tail, if I'm saying it right. Day date. So that is a very uncommon Reverso that has those complications on it. Pretty cool, man. So I finally got my Reverso. Been wanting it for a while. And the reason, you know, it's funny. The first watch that was recommended to me was Reverso because I said I like square. And the guy from Germany, Marcus, was telling me, he said he sent me a pic of Reverso. And I just blew it off. I'm like, I don't know. It looked like a dress watch. And then Jared's got several of them and some beautiful ones. And I put them on in this size, Jared's. And I was like, oh, dude, I really dig it. The rose gold ones, I'll have a rose gold one too. I think with a black face. I like the rose gold and the black face. And dude, I like the ones that have like your Art Deco that have the pointed little, I don't know what you call them. The hands are pointed. They're not like this hand. This hand is like a bat or something. I don't know what the name for that is. Woo, what a piece. You know it, buddy. Utmost respect amongst collectors there. Yeah, for sure, man. That's what's cool is it's a collector's piece. It's not a Rolex Submariner that everybody knows what it is. Every girl knows what it is. Every girl that doesn't know any shit about watches knows what a Rolex Sub is, right? But the watch collecting dudes are like, dude, nice reverso, like, and good choice. So thanks, Jared. Jared helped me choose this one. Jared, by the way, is my watch guru. If you guys want to know that, he is sensei for me with watches. I trust Jared. Jared researches products the same way I do. And so if Jared recommended anything to me, I'd be like, I can just get it. Like the other day, we were talking about hydrogen water. He's like, well, here's the one. Get this flask. I'm like, done. Send me the link. Then he's like, can I do this other thing, this scale that I get on that I hold, and it tells me my fat mass index or whatever. I'm like, send me the link, bro. What scale is it? And he just sent him. I don't even have to. It's great. So that's what I provide for Hi-Fi, is that kind of a thing for you guys. You don't have to think about it. It's just like you can trust somebody, and then you just buy it, and you know that their taste is of a high level. After knowing Jared for several years, I know his taste is at a high level. I know he's got good, he has good skills for scrutiny and weeding out the chaff and finding the good shit. And we're on the same page. So that's exactly what happens with the tribe. Is you guys get to leverage my knowledge and just get the good shit. And I have products in the pipeline too, by the way. I'm not really blabbing them out. But very shortly, I've got something nobody's doing, man. And I'm not going to talk about it. But this is something super cool. Jared knows about it. You can't talk about it, Jared. And we will release this. And it is, there's nobody doing it, man. Mikey's going to be first on the block with it. And in typical form, I come out with things before others do. You know who else is like that? Mark Levinson has always been like that. He always sees in front of the curve before everybody else does. So there isn't really a topic today. We can talk about whatever topic. I'm going to click into a certain framework starting Wednesday. I will start bringing people in. Alberto will be with us. Now, what's going to happen starting next Wednesday is my live streams will be live Q&A with people. I'm going to bring people to you so you can ask them questions directly. Okay. I think you all have already asked me all the questions you want to ask me, but now I'm going to bring Andreas Koch. I'll bring AG. I'll bring Alberto. I'm going to bring people, and we'll be able to do a Q&A with them directly. And you can ask them about the new designs and whatever you feel like asking them, and so you can do a little homework. The next one guest this Sunday is going to be Alberto Guerra of AGD. And if you want, do a little research on his products or whatever, and come up with some cool questions that you have, because you'll be able to ask him directly, and he will answer you directly. So that is pretty cool. That is coming up on Wednesday. And other than that, man, I've just been shipping product, man. I got to ship some 670s tomorrow. The 470s just landed in Dallas, Texas, and I've got to ship some Nat monoblock amps to him in Texas. So we will have our Dallas location in Texas very soon for the Hi-Fi Tribe. That is getting set up. What else do we have cooking? We've got another MPD8 going out to Grover in where is Grover again? And I'm drawing a blank. He went from AA DAC to the Meitner DAC, and now he's going to the MPD8. He had the Meitner DAC for like 2 weeks, and then he's like, dude, I think I want to just go to the end. I think I want to just get the top level. So he did it. And then there's another, who's the other MPD8 is going to Luke in Oklahoma, and he's got a MPSX streamer coming too. And he's got the 570s in his monstrous bedroom. So he will be able to talk about that, and you can hear more about. So far, every single person that has got their Fisher and Fisher is absolutely beside themselves happy. And I still have a couple pair pre tariff. One of the pairs is going to be at Capital Audio Fest, a pair of 370s. So if somebody wants to pick up 370s, come to Capital Audio Fest and take them with you. I think they are 17. Yeah, if you want to walk with them at Bring Me 15 and walk with them at Capital, or pay me 15 beforehand and then take them with you at Capital. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's like several thousand below what they are, and they're already underpriced. So yeah, and then I've got a pair of 170, but kind of want to keep those. I kind of want to keep them because the 170s are the coolest thing to blow people away with, because you're so not expecting them to do what they do, that I really love the 170s. You know, they're just, they punch so far above their price and their size. It's unbelievable. So, so yeah, so I've got 170. What else do I have? I think I might have another pair of 370 here sealed. Or is it 270 AMT? I've got a pair of 270 AMT for sure. And then I've got one other pair. And then I have one other. Ooh, I think all the monitors are gone. I might have one pair of monitors. I can't remember. I've got to go look. Anyways, there are some pre-tariff Fishers. Get them now, because you'll get the pre-tariff price. Mikey, going to get with you tomorrow, buddy. Was at the dock when you called. Okay, Dave. Sounds good, buddy. Norris. Well, there's only one of you. So Nori. Yo, Mikey. We'll try the top of the line AGD amps with the big Fishers. What are you, or what you will? Or are you saying, will you try the top of the line? But then I would see a question mark. So Norris, slow down and read. You're going too fast, man. And let me understand what you're trying to say, and I can give you an answer. John says, are you familiar with the company band with audio from Austin, Texas? Your opinions on them from the company band. Band with audio from Austin. No, never heard of them. Never heard of them. What are they? Let me take a look. Okay, let's see. Okay. So I'm looking at the preamp right now. It's definitely old school stuff. Okay. Let me see. It doesn't. I'll give you my feeling. I'll do this. Why don't I do this? I'll tell you what. Why don't I share my screen, and then I can do this with you guys, so you can see. This is how I'll take you through my process of how I determine and how I judge. And this, of course, is before I've heard it, right? So this is how I speculate beforehand, before I've heard anything. Let's see. Share screen. Share screen. Okay, bandwidth, audio, share. Okay, so you guys should be able to see this. Okay, so try our amplifiers in your own home. Okay, so what I see here, let's look at let's see the story first. We took a year-long journey Our goal was simple: zero compromise tube amp. Okay, that's a common goal. Outstanding build quality, last a lifetime. Everybody does. The prototype became Launchpad bandwidth audios KT88. Okay. Plan to go into business building. Amp never planned to for a personal project. Amazon is expensive. Trained okay, double E and designing. Da, da, da. Okay, so it's another dude wanting to build old technology. He's young though. It looks Matthew Beardsworth. Cool. I'm stoked for that. He's a young dude, man. Good for him. It is. Let me go and look at the designs. It looks like old school designs, which there's nothing wrong with that, but there's nothing new about it. Okay, so it looks like he's got 2845. Okay. So here's what I see. I see something that 2845. Are you guys watching along with me? It looks like you are. So it's an 845 parallel. Okay, so I just sold this, but with 300B drivers and 6 SN7s. A pair of monoblocks. Well, they were used, granted, it's hard to compare. I sold them for $6,000. These are $27,000. Okay. So here's the first thing. Here's the first thing that I think. This is how my brain works. Okay. I've never heard of him until right now. He's coming on the scene with $27,000 amps. Not a good way to start as a no-namer. Okay. So what he's telling us is I'm going to charge how good I think they sound compared to other shit that sounds this good. Okay. Well, an 845 sounds good. Okay. It's not that crazy hard to make an 845 amp sound good. It's really not. The Chinese do it, and they do it for much cheaper than 28,000. Now, I'm not suggesting you support China because they're like but if we want to just look at comparisons, right? You could buy this same thing out of China for 12,000, half this price for sure. And I don't see anything that would make it any different than what comes out of China. What I see is bent sheet metal. Okay, the chassis is not milled aluminum. It's bent sheet metal. So it's not an expensive chassis. I'm looking at, you guys are watching it with me right now. I hope, okay, this will make it easier. Okay, so a VU meter, big deal. This is for setting, probably for setting maybe the bias, perhaps, or maybe it shows us the output. Okay, he's got a power switch. See how this curves right here? This is bent. See how these sides are wood? That's just like, my buddy's wife does stuff like this with her wood machine. She's a woodworker. That's really easy stuff because it's just a flat piece of wood that's slapped on the side of a chassis. What this chassis is bent sheet metal. So if it's a flat piece of sheet metal and you bend it and then you punch out these louvers, you punch out these holes with a punch that goes over it. And then it bends it. It's a big machine that just bends and punches and does all this shit in one ka-chunk. And then that thing comes dropping out the machine. And then they take it and they bead blast it and they paint it. The metal work, I don't know if he says if the metal work's done in USA. That would be a question. Where do you get your chassis? A lot of these guys buy stuff with the handles on top. Okay. So these are like cabinet handles. Okay. So these are all existing things is what I'm kind of getting at. The sides and everything. It's really easy to make sides because it's a stamped piece of sheet metal. Imagine this. Can you even, I think you can see me. Okay. So it goes like this, and then you slap two sides on it, one on each side. You have a bent piece of sheet metal. You slap a piece of wood. You can put aluminum. You can put whatever you want on the side. You could put plastic. You could put stuff with artwork. You could put, crystal inlay. You could put anything on the sides. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever your heart desires. He's got some driver tubes in back. Okay, here's where you set the bias. So you got your bias meters on back. He's got the cheap Chinese, Taiwanese plastic, unless those are next gen. They look like regular. These might be Vampire, something like that. Okay, regular stuff. It doesn't look to me like a $28,000 pair of monoblocks. To me, it looks like Chinese stuff. Now, I get it's made in USA. It's totally cool that a young guy makes it. But I'm not seeing I'm not seeing 28 grand, and especially because no history of this guy. Who is he? And he's just popping on the scene. Is he going to be at the shows? That's the next thing. Is he going to be at the shows? Does he do, there's just kind of a fun thing for him to do. I as a project. It looks a little bit more than a project. Now it says audio designed and manufactured. Okay, so if he says manufactured, that means he has to have, I think, 75% of it needs to be made in USA. So now he's going to go into, okay, so what do we have here? This is a pre-made board, what we see down here. So he may have designed this and had this made, but these look like the little module boards that you can get on Amazon or whatever, or on eBay. This clearly isn't, but it's not that big of a deal. It's like almost like a breadboard, you know. It's got these things. These are cool though because there's no solder. So they're wire tie. So he's got wire ties on all these. That's a cool way to design, okay, because there's no solder. And people might say solder degrades signal. I don't think there's any solder. I think it's just wire tie. Although this, you know, this surface interface is, you know, it's not perfectly void free. If we go down to a microscopic level and that stuff gets corroded over time or whatever, it could not be the greatest thing in the world. So it's cool. It's old school design. I feel like I'm looking at, okay, here we got a better look at it. See if we can go closer to this. Okay, here we go. So these are, yeah, there's nothing. These are ceramic tubes. At least he twists the wires. See how he twists the wires and he routes them? Remember how we looked inside the Constellation audio? And remember the wires were flying everywhere and they looked like shit. And I was like, these guys don't even have enough respect to fricking zip tie their damn wires together. And they're charging $50,000 for fucking stereo amp, you know, Constellation. Remember that video? Okay. Well, here's a guy that has honor in how he builds. Okay. I may not see 28 grand here, but at least I see somebody who gives a shit in the way he assembles. This is assembled with care. It's assembled with pride. You know, I can see it immediately. It's assembled with pride. So the guy is passionate about it. This is his passion project. Here you can see what I'm talking about. This is a horseshoe, right? It's sheet metal that's just bent around. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's not the most expensive type of chassis. This is could potentially the most inexpensive way to make a chassis. It is strong and it is durable. It's why they made it that way. Screw holes in wood, not a good idea. Okay. As soon as you open these, close these, open these, close these, open these, close these, those are going to be stripped out pretty easily. Unless these have PEM nuts on the back, which they might. If they have nuts welded onto the back, they're good. If those are just threaded into the sheet metal, those will eventually strip too. And so I don't see anything out of the ordinary here other than the wire wound, how he does the wire wrap on the boards for the caps. They look like down here, they might be soldered. Maybe it's solder free. I can't tell, but there's got to be some solder. I can see some solder here and here. So what I see here is a very well assembled kit. This is what I see. This could almost be like a kit that was purchased and then he put it together. And the guy who put it together was extremely particular. Okay. Bravo. Hands off. Hats off and claps for how well this is put together. The guy, I would have him assemble anything for me, right? This is top-notch assembly. So, but it's not an exotic design. It's not anything new. It's 28 grand for this with bent sheet metal and wood sides. I don't see it, but many times it makes sense for them to market at 28, and then in the real world, they're selling it for 12. And that's really, if he's got the dealer network, then this is a $12,000 amp, which would make sense. Like if I'm this guy and I'm building these things, I'm selling them for 12 grand, whether I sell them to a dealer, whether I sell them to an end user, 28G sounds like it's got a dealer margin in there to me. So what does he say about his iron? Okay. Where are they made? Bifilar, nothing new. Technically, okay. High bandwidth, he's maybe saying. He doesn't. Does he say where it's made? Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Anybody see? Output transformer. Lathrop. Coupling. Does it say hi-fi audio transformer made in USA? Okay, so it's made in USA. It's an EI transformer. I don't know what core he uses. It looks pretty standard. It doesn't look, and this is when I talk to you guys about, and I say, look, old shit still sounds good. This, what we're looking at, this is old ass transformers. Okay. This design. Okay. Do they sound good? Yeah. They always have sounded good. They've sounded good since whatever, the 1960s, man, they still sound good, but they're nothing new. It's not forward looking technology like AGD, for instance, but they do sound different for sure, than AGD does. So yeah, okay. So that's what I see. Open loop, closed loop, negative feedback. Okay. There's the wood pieces that he does. Hand wired point to point turret board. Okay. That's the word for that. Point to point turret. It's sort of point to point. It is point to point, but it's not like there is PC boards. Real point to point has 0 PC boards in there. So yeah, and let's see what THD. See, look at this. The noise. Remember how people are always, what's the total harmonic distortion? Everyone wants to see 0.00005%, 2.75%. Okay. So what I see here is I see this guy doesn't bullshit about his spec. Okay. So when I see 2.75%, it doesn't make me not like the amp. It makes me respect the guy. That's what happens when I see 2.75. I respect him. I go, I already trust him because I'm like, he's not trying to bullshit. He's not trying to tell me 1%, 0.8. He's telling me 2.75. That's fucking high, right? Okay. If he's telling us that, he's an honest guy, man, because that is not, what this means is that people that know tube amps, they know that this doesn't mean shit, man. 2.75, yeah, it's high distortion. Why do you think we like it sound so much? Because of that odd or that even order harmonic distortion. It sounds freaking phenomenal. We like it, That's why I argue with some. I got a buddy who's an engineer and he's all into Benchmark amps and they have 0 distortion and all this shit. And I'm like, dude, your little piece of shit Benchmark doesn't sound anything like my freaking giant tube that measures way shittier than your freaking Benchmark. Your Benchmark measures way better. It's a way better design in terms of smartness and efficiency and all that shit. But it doesn't sound anywhere as good as what I've got. And I know this, and people that know tube amps understand they measure like shit. This is why I get upset and why I have a little forked tongue when it comes to guys like ASR or the other guy that measures the speakers, because they just want to measure speakers and then complain that they don't hit, that the specifications are not good specifications. And it's like, dude, what are you buying? Are you buying sound or are you buying a low spec number? Evidently they want to buy low spec numbers. They're specsmen, and they enjoy specsmanship and they want to buy specification. They don't want to buy sound. What you buy from this guy here is you buy sound. You're not buying spec. Okay. Because these specs are fucking horrible. Okay. They're good. Look at the bandwidth, 15 hertz to 26. That's pretty good. Okay. If you look at the NAT audios, they're like 0.1 hertz to like 80,000 hertz. Okay. So this guy is I'm looking at his bandwidth numbers. I'm looking at his signal to noise, 82. These are not great specs, right? I'll bet you his amp sounds great. I would guess his amps sound great. I just know 845s and I know how good they sound. And I can look at this build and I can tell you with pretty confident, I can tell you they probably sound phenomenal. Okay. 28 grand. I think I could sell you a tube amp that sounds better from Nat Audio, but it's not made in USA and it's not made by a young guy, in USA. So my first feeling would be, and I'm doing this with you guys, I already trust the company. I already trust the guy. I already like the guy. So if I were to see him at a show, I would greet him with encouragement. And I would be encouraged, and I would encourage him. And I would I already like him by the way he does his spec. I can go to other brands and I look at their spec and they're so full of shit that I'm like, I don't like the band. I don't like the brand already, just based on how they talk to me on their website. Now I could go and read the copy and see how he talks, you know. Let's see. Character buys no. Okay, the breaks down the low parts. Set barrier of 50 watts. Okay, exceedingly. Okay, so it doesn't. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's regular stuff that we would say. I'd have to read through the whole thing, but it seems like it doesn't look like it's full of a bunch of fluff. Okay, so I would just say very ambitious pricing. Now we go to the 22A3. So these are 2A3s. These things are probably 3 watts per channel. This is for a very different type of speaker. Again, what do we have? 5 watts. Yeah. Okay, so it's a 5 watt amp, and what is it? Let me guess, 12,000. 83.99 a pair. Okay, for 5 watt monoblocks. Okay, so that's cool. You know, I don't see anything wrong with that. A 2A3 is a this is a pigeonhole amp, okay? So you're going to be pigeonholed into a certain type of speaker with 5 watts. You need to have a 100 dB speaker. Yeah, you can have 96 or better, 8 ohm, you know, and you'll probably be fine. But that's what I see there. Again, the design is nothing new. It's been done a million times, but this one's done by a young guy right now, today in USA, which makes it interesting. Okay, so here's a 288. This is KT88s. Again, looks very basic. This thing's going to be $6,000, I'll bet, because that's about what these are. Typically, I've seen them around. So this, let me look at this. Okay. So let me see the inside of this puppy. Right now, I already like it. I already like that. What I'm looking at, that looks so simple. This is point to point. You see how this cap is right here? That shit's point to point. These caps, this is point to point. Already, I like this amp the best. Let's see if we get any more picks. We get this, we get that, and we know about the wood. Okay, we got the bias meters. We got the basic rears. We got the bias adjustments. Single-ended amp, of course. Okay, there's inside the amp. Okay, I love this. Okay, why do I love it? Look how freaking simple that is. Oh my God. Okay, it's beautiful to me. That is so simple, and this is purest. This is purest design. There's a row of caps. Okay, there's his this is his power supply, his rectifier bridge right here. Yeah, that's his rectifier bridge. He's got his outputs. I can't see from the top. He's got a nice volume control. I can see it's a stepped resistor ladder, stepped attenuator. He's got his meter, his things. I love it. It's totally basic. It's totally cool. Now, these are not hard amps to build. You know, I mean, this is a very basic amp. If you look at the bill of materials for this thing, it is not very much money that goes into it. Now, okay, he's got 2 6SN7s and 2 KT88. So these are monos. So they work in a push-pull. It might be parallel, actually, because he did parallel A45s. So see if it says single-ended tryouts, SET. Okay, thanks. 60 watts now out of 2 tubes. 60 watts going to be push-pull. Yeah, okay. So cool. This is cool. A 5AR4. This is a cool amp. I like this one. This is my favorite one. Okay, this is right away my favorite one. 8,199 a pair. Okay, I think that's a pretty kind of a proud price. If that is with a dealer, you know, markup, and they're 4,500 or something like that, bam, $4,500 all day on a pair of these. You know, $8,000 is probably, you know, in this day and age, what the market will bear. You know, they are handmade. They're made in America. I like these the best. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So what? And then he's got preamps, and you guys, and this is just, I'm not even into preamps. They're cool. Let me look at it. Okay, cool, cool, well designed. Yeah, this is cool, man. I mean, I applaud the guy. He's a young dude doing old school design. Um, I love black and red, so I like the way it looks. He puts tube dampers, halos on his tubes. Um, you know, it's a nice ultralinear power supply he's got over there. Um, I like it when they split the power supply, but at least he's got, see that's an internal wall. So he keeps the emission from the power supply away from the delicate line stage. So that's cool. How much is this thing? $5,000. Okay. And then we go to the Phono-Pre, which I don't know shit about. But it looks cool, you know? Okay, so those are his products. Let's see, tube testing service. Those are the only services he got, and he's got some merch. Let's see if he's got some cool t-shirts. I made an 845 t-shirt too, but it didn't look like that. That's pretty cool. He's got a little band. He's got the tubes playing the band. Okay, so that's cool. Anyways, okay, so that's my take is kudos to let me go to and let's give him props. Kudos to Matthew Beardsworth. Matthew, if you're watching this, high five, brother. I don't know you, but way to go for building some cool tube amps, dude. I like it. They're cool, man. This is cool old shit. I'm looking at an old Harley. This is like me looking at a cool old Harley Davidson, somebody making a modern custom out of old parts, you know? It's cool to me. This is cool audiophile stuff, man. So kudos. I think my favorites are his I'm sure the 211 sound the best, but for 28 grand I can do better in my opinion. I think I can get a more of an exotic build, but for 8 grand on those are pretty clean. The only time I see, like, I hate to say it, but the only ones that do point-to-point wiring, because they're such a pain in the ass, are like the Chinese, or they make them really expensive. So the Chinese are the only ones that are doing point-to-point wired KT88s for anything, you know, around. And you know what? I think, if I'm not mistaken, what's his name? Julian Margulis does some KT88 amps, I think, for 6 grand. And I think Audio Research does some KT88s, but the Audio Research is not going to be anywhere near the purism of this guy's design. This is straight purism. That's why I like it, because it's just so beautifully simple. Looks like he's got, I don't even know what the hell those are. Altex or something. Anyways, so I hope you enjoyed that little roll down to check out that dude's brand, because that is how I suss things out. And I just did it with you guys real time, so you can see how I suss out certain brands. Hopefully he's at Capital Audio Fest or one of the shows. Maybe he goes to Texas, but would definitely shake the guy's hand and say hi. 570s pre-tariff. I don't have any 570s pre-tariff. You already wants to bump his 470s up to 570s. He's so enthralled with his 470s. He's like, I might as well go turbo. You know, he likes his 911 GTS so much. He's like, shit, how much is the turbo? Catching Live, what's good? What's up, man? Good to see you, man. When you get digital from an MPD8, you mostly forget about your analog rig. Yes, it happens, man. Only a pure analog original pressing beats it. Yeah, and not in all ways. The MPD8 sets you free. Yeah, I mean, and what you're saying, Steve, is in theory, right? Nobody has beat it yet with a pure analog original pressing. If anybody wants to, you know, they can do it, but nobody's done it yet. So that's a theory. But yeah, I mean, I'll be open to it. I'll be open-minded. But when I sell people MPD8s, they get out of vinyl. I mean, Revelry's here watching right now. Look what he says. Steve DeHardy, totally agree. Okay. Are you keeping your vinyl? That's the next question for Rev. Are you keeping your vinyl? That's what we want to know. Sorry, typing and walking. Where? Okay, so Norris, do I got to go back and see what he said? Where I didn't understand. What do I got? Do I got a caller in her? Hello, this is Mike.
Mr. Cynical.
Yes.
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
What was that? Hello? Oh, who knows? Okay, so where am I? Okay. Where am I? I need to go back and find what Nor said. Okay. Yo. Will you try the top of the line AGD amps with the big Fishers? Yeah, man. What I want to do with the big Fishers is put the teeny guys, the little teeny ones, on there where you can, see the little Audions power the big amps. If we could, if I could do that, that would be even cooler, wouldn't it? But I can put the big amps. I've got what do I have here? The alt, I can't keep up with the new amps. I've got the big badass, his most powerful one here so far, but it's not Monoblock's stereo amp. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Walking. Hydrate. You know it, man. That's what I'm doing right now. Eric, Bandwidth was at Xpona this past year. Oh, cool. First time hearing of them. He brought his pair of Tannoy speakers, okay, to use with the monoblocks. That's cool. That's what those big things are. Same old, no innovations. No, it's not, but it's still cool. It's like Harley isn't making any innovations either, and it's still a cool bike, They measure like shit, but they sound killer. Yes, clean design it is. It's simple purism. You know how I feel about tube amps. Yeah, Steve likes to talk shit about tube amps. But look, I'm on the end of this. I'm on the selling end, and I know what people buy, and he just knows what good design is. I actually know what people tell me they love the most, and so Badger Mike had sushi. They served it on a plate made from slate. Naturally, I thought of Fisher & Fisher speakers. Of course, brother. That's pretty cool that they did that on the slate tile. I'll bet that preamp is good. Yeah, man. It could be. Who knows? I've got some preamps for sale. I've got some really nice tube preamps. Charles and I are going to be going through it, man. We've got a lot of shit to document. I've got a bunch of stuff. We're going to do it over the next 10 days or something like that. I'm going to document every piece of used gear that I have, and it's all going to be cleared out to the tribe. I will only keep special pressings. Okay. The others are going to go after I record them. Yep. There you go, man. There you go. There you have it. So yeah, wouldn't be the first time that happened. People get the MPD-8 and then they go, dude, what did you do to me? I'm not listening to my vinyl anymore. Like, dude, come on, man. And then the next thing I know, they're like, I'm selling my vinyl, Mikey. And that's cool. It's all good, man. Whatever you want, but it just frees up more space and frees up more time. You know what I do? You know what I sell you? I don't sell you audio gear. I sell you your time back. That's what I do. I sell you your time back. So as you get older, what's valuable to you? You want to buy some of your time back? That's what I do. So this, not sure what this is. Yeah, if somebody's watching right now and you're trying to call through, text me what that you want to come on or whatever, because it sounded like a prank call a second ago. So I'm not going to pick it up and give you a chance to spread. I mean, I don't care if you want to talk shit and you want to come in on the video and come in on the line. I don't care. Anybody can talk anything. As long as we're cool and you can critique. But it started out by saying Mr. Cynical. I am cynical. Why? Because I've been in the damn industry for 20 some odd years and I know the inside. We're gonna do it finally. You know it, buddy. I compare vinyl versus streaming. The difference is so small. Yes, buddy. The vinyl isn't worth the hassle. And this is Revelry saying this shit, not me. Okay. If I say it, it's one thing, but this is a fucking vinyl enthusiast. This is a guy who is dyed in the wool vinyl guy. Like loves his vinyl, loves crate digging, loves all that shit, loves it. And he's saying it, man. And it took the MPD-8. Dude, I can tell you guys about MPD-8 only so much, right? You can't realize it until you listen to it, until you put it in your rig. And it's one of these life-changing things for people with their audio listening career. So, yeah. So Steve says, nope. It's not worth it, you know? And what was there? There was something I saw on, Headphonesty or whatever, which I already don't like those guys. I don't even know them, but I already don't like them. They regurgitate bullshit news they aggregate news from other places and plaster it all over the internet. But they don't come up with their own shit. You look at the guy who started it, and what is his audio system? Fucking AirPods, man. You know? And he's talking into our industry. Like, whatever, dude. And you know what? These kids know what they're doing, and to get the algorithm to work it out and get in everybody's feed and all that kind of shit. But anyways, they posted something that they found somewhere else, and it was Richard Vandersteen speaking about how vinyl is better than digital. It's like, oh my God. Richard Vandersteen could not be more irrelevant in fucking the world right now. You know what I mean? Mad respect to him for what he's created. He created a great brand, and he knows speakers, you know, and he does them in a certain way, and he did wonderful for himself, you know, and he made a great brand that's been around a long time. But, you know, this old cahoot sitting there in a chair with his belly out to here, trying to tell us that analog is got more information than digital. Really? Is that what they're going to post? You know, maybe they post it because they know it's drama, and you know that's what sells. Drama is what gets people to click. So put the most dramatic shit you can on your feed, and then, you know, people will click on it. But I looked at it and I'm like, oh God, really? They're really going to regurgitate this whole thing again? I'm getting people out of vinyl left and right in droves. And this guy's trying to say that it's still got, you know, that it sounds better, that it holds more information. Okay, let me see who this is. Yo.
It's John Vartanian.
Who's that?
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Johnny.
Mikey.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good, man. You want to come on the stream?
I do.
Okay, cool. Let me put you behave yourself now.
I always do.
Okay, good. Let me see. Hang on. Give me 1 second here, and I will put us over to the Bluetooth. Let me get it here. Okay. Okay, you there, buddy? Let's see if I got you. There you are. Okay.
How you doing?
Good,
How you
man.
doing, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Good. Welcome to the live stream.
Thank you.
You bet.
I sent you the question about bandwidth audio.
Oh, okay, cool.
You did a fantastic dissection of bandwidth audio. I mean, fantastic.
Oh, thanks, brother.
It was excellent. I thought you were going to piss and shit all over them.
No,
okay?
Man. Yeah.
But, well, because they're old school, you know, they're not digital. They don't have a remote control. You know what I mean? They don't have Bluetooth.
Yeah.
It's all old school.
That's what makes it cool, because he's stuck. The fact you just told me no remote control, I didn't even know that, but that's even better. I mean, because he's sticking to his guns. He's doing purism, and he's doing it in the minimalist way, you know, so it's minimalist purism, and he's done a great job on it. You can see the passion when you look inside the thing, you know. It's like, bravo, dude.
I really appreciate I really appreciate that you looked at it like you did, and you were impressed yourself from a company you never heard of.
Yeah.
You know, and you looked at the wiring and you looked at everything, and you said, yeah, I mean, you had a few criticisms, but overall, I would say your opinion of the company was fantastic.
Yeah, man. I
And
mean, I love to see young guys doing this kind of thing. And then I love to see that he's doing it in he's sticking to purism. So his aim is true, and he's not varying from his directive, which is purism in design. And so I can see that by looking at it. And so it makes me respect the design. I mean, I don't care if it's old school and it's not modern, whatever. It's still done with integrity completely. You can see it.
well, it made me respect you even more, because I respect the company, and I've looked into them and whatnot. And when you went over it, and you really delved into it pretty deeply,
That, yeah.
and and you could see, and you were like, yeah, this looks good, man. I liked what the guy's doing here.
Mhm.
And it definitely, because it's really it's old school analog people. It's an old school analog
For sure.
design,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you're a more modern digital type guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not really, dude. Well, I am with my front end, but my amps are vacuum tubes. I use vacuum tube single-ended triodes. Yeah. Yep.
Right.
And that's what Steve DeHardy on here, who's talking shit, because he always talks shit to me about my fucking tube amps. But I'm like, dude, look, the second I can find a solid state amp that sounds as good as my tubes, I'm instantly on it, because solid state is way less headache. Look, my tubes aren't a headache, but they're freaking hot. They warm my room, and I can't listen for the first, I don't want to listen for the first 15 minutes because they're not in their operational envelope yet. So it takes 15 minutes of sitting there, and then I can get into the tunes. And I know that eventually something may happen with them, but they're reliable. They've been good. So, yeah. So I still respect the old school. And look behind me, man. I've got tapes, dude. But I don't even use them. And they're freaking reel to reels that are originals. These are session reels. And I've got the two tracks over there. So, so anyways, someday I'll start playing tapes for you guys in my videos.
Well, I guess the basic reason why I was calling was just to tell you that I could tell by your dissection of looking at the company and what they do with their equipment was top notch, and that you're definitely not bullshitting. Like, you had a few criticisms, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The chassis work and whatnot. But overall, I thought you were spot on, and you weren't cutting the shit, and you weren't saying, you say you can sell at a better price. You can do better than them. And I understand that. But I appreciate you telling the truth, man.
Well, that's what I do, brother. And sometimes it's a little rough. And I got to admit, when I first came on the scene, I was punching. I was punching in the trunks, dude.
Yeah.
Because I needed to. I had a lot of resentment for the industry that was built up in me that I needed to vent. So my first couple years, I was venting, getting it all out. And I was still fighting. For a piece of the action. Now I'm comfortable. I've now, my word has gotten out, and I've got my people, and I'm selling all the time. And now it's like, I don't need to fight as much, because I just don't have the fight. I don't have to fight.
Right.
So now I can, and I mean, even then I would have looked at back when I first started the channel, these were the kind of products that I had myself, were these, the handmade, hand wired stuff, it's cool. It's still cool to me, so bravo to the guy. And if I see him, I'll say hi to him and shake his hand and congratulate him,
All right. So before I go, one last thing.
Sure.
Is there any chance you would carry their products?
I would have to listen to it and then do a value proposition on it and see if it makes sense. I would probably be most likely to carry the entry level one that I saw, and not the 2A3, but the 60 watt push pull KT88, and then I would have to compare it to other things in that price range, like, and then determine that it's the best. Because see, the way I work is, I would say, you know, my favorite push pull amp at $6,000. I won't carry more than one, or $8,000,
Yep.
right? I'll only carry one, and,
Yep.
and it's because I think it's the best in the marketplace. So what I would do, the whole process that I would do to determine if I was going to carry his stuff, was I would compare it to Audio Research and maybe Rogue Audio, you know, but it's not kind of the sweet spot where I sell, but that would, something 60 watts that's $8,000. Yeah, that would probably be the one that I would go after. So I don't know if I'm not.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, but you also said that this is made in America and Audio Research isn't. Didn't you say that?
I don't think so. I think Audio Research is made here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty sure
Well,
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
if
listen,
the
you're
only-
doing a
the-
great
the-
job, man.
thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
I mean, really, I love watching your live streams. I learn a lot, and when I threw that question out there, I thought you might say, "Nah, I never heard of them." Okay, next question. You went in for like 15 minutes. You went over the whole company, man. It was awesome. It was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
it was. I figured if this is a perfect opportunity to show people how I suss out companies so they can do it for themselves, so that you all
Yep.
can use the same techniques and things that I do for determining when you see a new company that you've never heard of. You got to kind of suss them out real quick, and then usually that's done on their website. And usually you can tell by how they're talking to you and how they put their specifications. You can tell if they're fluffing it and they're full of BS,
Right.
or you can tell if they're real about it. And this guy came across as real. I just look at those specs. When you say 2.73%, you're not trying to hide shit.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like giving
Yeah,
the straight dope out there. That's cool.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
give the straight dope, and I mean, they're really not very well marketed. But
Mhm.
if you know anything about the company, they have really good products, and I'm just glad you went over it like you did. That really impressed me a lot.
Okay,
You know,
cool.
you spent a lot of time on it, and I appreciate it. Thanks, brother.
You bet, man. Thank you for telling us about it.
All right, have a good night.
Okay, man. Cheers. See you.
Ciao.
See you. Okay. So yeah, that was cool. That was fun, man. That was fun for me to do, and I'm glad that you guys got something out of it. And it sounds like he was pretty stoked that I did that. He thought I was going to tear it up. So many people. I'm a realist, man. You know, I'm not a jackass. I'm just a realist, you know, and sometimes the common narrative isn't what's real, you know, so I will sometimes call out things. Let me see, where did I lost my space in here? Okay. I will only keep special pressings. Yep, we saw that. We're going to do it finally. Talk to Charles. I compare vinyl versus streaming. The difference is so small, the vinyl isn't worth. And then Steve said, nope. He said measurements, never mentioned what, bowel movements? What is BM? I didn't want to like the MPD-8, but oh well, just got an MPD-8 AI coming now. Yeah, I know, man. It's hard. You can't deny it. And look, dude, I could have any damn DAC I want in the industry, and I've tried them, and we've put it up against $100,000 DACs, and they're just, those things are something else, man. They're trophy acquisitions. They don't do anything any better than the MPD-8, other than have multiple boxes and just be more of a trophy acquisition. That's what they are. The point of vinyl is nostalgia. Agreed. And the ritual of placing a record on the turntable. Absolutely. And I honor that and respect it. I don't want it for me in my life, but I honor it and I respect it. I think vinyl is totally cool. And I love when guys are into it. I think it's cool. Unfortunately, it's so few and far between that when I hear it, that it is satisfying to me. It's always totally seems lacking. What was really funny is we were listening to some vinyl the other day, at a guy's place who has a wicked vinyl setup, and he played digital, and digital was so much better. And we said to him, both of us, me and Big John were there, both of us said, dude, oh man, digital sounds better. I didn't have a problem telling. I said, I like digital sound better. And he said to me, you're just used to listening to digital. That's why. I was like, no, brother, you're just used to listening to vinyl. That's why. Any normal person would come in here and immediately pick digital over vinyl. Anybody that we took off the street, right? Any normal normie, would just be like, yes, that digital is way better. But maybe something about the texture of the groove or the little, and there wasn't really much snap, crackle, and pops, but it just didn't have, I don't know, man. It was, whatever. To each his own. But yes, the point of vinyl is nostalgia. It's collecting art, and collecting media, and the ritual of placing a record on the turntable. However, the older I get, the more I value my time. And so I want more time back. You can't, no matter how much money you have, you can't buy more time. We're all going to die in the, within a certain period. We're all going to die, right? And you can't stop it no matter how rich you are. And if there's anything as you get older that you value, that if you could buy it back, you would buy time. And what I do with my systems is I sell you time back for your life. So it doesn't include rituals. It includes no rituals. Why? Because maybe you like the ritual of being with your wife better than you like the or maybe not. Maybe you like the ritual of being with your kids. Maybe you like the ritual of fishing. Maybe you like the ritual of, travel better than you like the ritual of placing a record on a turntable. But everybody chooses what they do with their time. So I sell you time back. Hey, Mikey, will you be at Capitol? I will, buddy. If so, my brother and I will look forward to seeing you there. Of course, Professor Jim. See you guys at every show, don't I? Yeah, so we'll see you there. Collect call from a correctional facility. We accept the charges. Totally. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh, by the way, you guys, so I have a secondary channel, okay? And I started doing some cigar videos. I'm going to do other videos for other things that I'm interested in. And I just don't think it's proper to put it on OCD Hi-Fi Guy channel, okay? I've been doing shorts. What I do is I keep the shorts, and that's where I do my alternate stuff. And then I only do full videos, but I want to do some full videos of other things sometimes too. I've been critiquing cigars recently. And so I'm going to put it on the Mikey channel. And let me see what my other channel is called so I can give you the moniker, the things right now. So you know what it is. Let's see. Here's my account. What's my other account? Let's see. Go back. Switch account. There it is. Okay, it's called the Mikey channel. Okay, and it's at OCD Mikey. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here. At OCD Mikey. Okay, and it's called. Okay, and this is called the Mikey channel. Okay, and it's at OC. I've just put it up in the comments section right here. Okay, so it's at OCD Mikey, and it's the Mikey channel. So go there and sign up for it. Whatever, be a sub. It doesn't cost you anything, and whatever. There's not going to be any ads or anything. Whatever. Subscribe, and then you'll see me start to chock it full of different videos that have to do. The first couple are going to be, and what I'm going to do is it's just going to be Mikey cigars, Mikey food, Mikey motorcycling, or Mikey cars, Mikey strip club. No, I won't do that, but I'd get in trouble for a camera in there. But, whatever. So that will give me another spot and for you guys to interface, and then we can talk about other stuff, because I am a complex individual and I am not just a pigeonholed audio guy. I can do audio, and that's my expertise. I do it very well, but I am a connoisseur at heart. I'm a pain in the ass sometimes, what I call myself, because I'm very particular. Now, It's just a tongue in cheek when I say pain in the ass, just like OCD is tongue in cheek. I'm particular. I'm a connoisseur. And so just like I was speaking earlier about Jared, once you get to know somebody on a certain level, you just trust any recommendation that motherfucker gives you, right? Excuse my language, whatever. You just trust any recommendation that guy gives you. You're like, because this guy knows his shit. I've known him long enough. Anything he brings up, it's just like after people call me Michelin Mikey because I take them to restaurants and they're like, Jesus, dude. After a while, they're just like, anywhere you want to go, forget about it. And then we get to the restaurant and they say, you just order for us. They don't even want to, they don't even look at the menu. They just go, Mikey, just order for the table, because that's how much they trust my judgment with food. So eventually, if you guys get to know me and then you'd like to see what other things I like in the land of things, right? Then we can do other things. And then just the other stuff that I like, I can share it with you because I'm passionate about a lot of stuff. And stogies. So I did a couple stogies. The stogie, I have to edit them, put them together. I'll put a couple in the next couple days. And then I'll just share other shit. It's a way for me to share with you the other shit that I do, because so many times I'm like, man, I should be telling people about this. I think they'd like to see it. I was down in some caverns the other day in Chattanooga. It was really cool. So let me get my spot. Where am I? I will go to John Smith is not me. He says I will go to a local expo next month. My first one. Looking forward to hear Grande Notte. Cool, man. Say hi to Max. You're going to see this bearded, jolly guy with the big smile. Italy, say, I'm saying hello from OCD Mikey, hi-fi guy. He's gonna go, oh, and he'll probably give you a hug because he's just that kind of dude. He's really a good guy. You're going to love Max. Make sure. Massimiliano. I love my tube amps, and with the MPD8, it's amazing. Yes, it is, man. The MPD8 tube amps and the Fisher & Fisher is the winning combo, bro. It's like the winning dinner. Winner, chicken dinner. It's like every time I put those together for people, and the other one is Roland goes well with them too, but people with kids, I'm not going to recommend, with little toddlers and shit like that. I'm not going to tell them, put some freaking nuclear reactors into the room, man. I got to look out for you guys, and what was something I was doing the other day, man? I just look out for my peeps. If you're 60 years old and you're telling me you want to get your first motorcycle, I'm also going to tell you, no, I don't recommend you do it at 60 years old. So yeah, I think Mikey likes second and third order harmonics. I do, brother. I do. I love it. I love texture, man. I love the soul. There's something magical that happens in a vacuum tube. And you know what I think it is? I'll tell you where I think it is. In a vacuum tube, you've got the collector, the grid, right? And you got the plate. And I'm probably going to use the wrong terms, but you've got three things. You've got the little sending unit, right? The what do they call it? The electrode or whatever. I'm probably using the wrong terms, but the signal, the music goes through a vacuum, dude. If it goes through the air, it doesn't even have a wire. It goes through a grid and goes to a plate on the other side. So the music goes through a vacuum. What's that, dude? What do you mean the music? The music's not in a wire. The music doesn't go through a cap. It goes through a vacuum. It goes through outer space. It goes through a vacuum. And then it just goes over there and goes to the other side through the grid, and modulates or whatever. But it's in the ether. The music is in the ether at that point. It's in the matrix. The music is in the vacuum. It's in space. It's in the ether. That's where the magic happens. Something about that transition of the music over to the plate. It's like, that's where something happens, man. It goes into the ether world, dude. The place where music lives, the place where we go when we dream, whatever that is, the ether, the whatever, the matrix, the whatever you want to call it, man. I call it the ether. And that's what happens with music in a vacuum tube. Music goes through the ether before it gets to your ears. That whole process, that transition does something magic. Okay. Yeah, I know it's noisy or whatever, but there's something that happens in that is magical. Give me tubes or give me silence. That's a great t-shirt, Vooch. I should do it for the shows. Give me two, and then I can credit it to you. I'll put Vooch underneath. Give me tubes or give me silence. Write that down, Vooch, because maybe we'll make a series of t-shirts from you guys, and you guys will give me quotes, and then we'll put them on and we'll give you guys credit for it. Vandersteen is a genius speaker designer. Okay, in some people's eyes. He holds a patent on his carbon balsa drivers. That's cool. Awesome. They destroy any other driver in the world. That's a perception. When his patent expires, the world will use his genius. Okay, well, I'm glad we got such a devotee, man. Buy stock in Vandersteen. Maybe you can take it over when the guy croaks. You know, I don't know anything about carbon balsa. I'm guessing he impregnates balsa wood with carbon. They destroy any driver in the world. I'll bet you, what's those guys' names? Borison wouldn't agree with that. That's arguable, you know. But I'm glad you're into them. That's cool. That's really cool when you got people like this guy that are willing to fight for you. I got a lot of them too. Wisconsin in the house. Yes, you are. Cheeseheads in the house. Cheeseheads unite. OCD Mikey channel. Remember, you guys, sign up for the Mikey channel, man, and you'll get some other content. Doesn't cost you a thing. The thing with vinyl, it does sound good. But if you have the right DAC, digital is really addictive. I've been eating up Qobuz for a week now and going crazy. Never thought digital could win. Yeah, I got you, buddy. But look, I'm making your life easier, brother. It's not because it's any ploy. It's because your life is easier. Now you're getting rid of a preamp, dude, you know, and you're going to have something that like connects you to the music like no before. And Rev is a guitarist, man. He's a musician. This guy is so into music, and so he feels it, man. And he gets music on a deep level. So I love hearing the feedback, and I love it when you share the feedback with the tribe, man, because it's great. Good digital is way better than 99% of vinyl. Everyone is fighting for the original pressings. Just a waste of time and money at this point. Furthermore, you need a 50K rig to beat a 5K DAC. Yes, yep, I agree. Now we're on the same page, Steve. Congratulations. Steve and I are going to be doing a motorcycle tour shortly. He's coming up from Florida on his Triumph 900 Tiger, and I'm going to jump on my Ducati 1260 Multistrada, and we are going to pack our bags up and head up to North Carolina and do some riding. And we might meet with Ted Denny. We might take my brother. But it's going to be a fun time, man. We're going to smoke some cigars. Steve will drink some whiskey. And I'll drink some bubbly water. The output level of vinyl is much smaller than digital. Yeah, that kind of felt like it. That's why digital may sound better for most people's rigs. A killer vinyl front end will kill digital. I still have yet to hear it. I mean, I hear people say that a lot, you know, but the vinyl guys have fucking Dragonfly DACs. So of course the killer vinyl front end kills your DAC because you use a fucking $300 DAC, dude. I'm glad you're into it, but if I bring an MPD8 to your friend, the surgeon guy's house, I'm going to throttle his vinyl. Okay. I will put it to bed. You know, I guess I'm just going to have to drive if the guy will have me to the house. I think he hates me. So he doesn't like me. I don't know why. A lot of people don't like me because I'm unconventional and I have no qualms about saying it. But, anyways, you know, someday if I'm driving around doing a tour with DACs in my car, which maybe I will do, maybe I'll take these last 5 MPD8s and travel around the United States and sell them off as I do. How many can you fit in a Jaguar convertible? Probably 2, man. And then we got to have our clothes. Yeah, we can't fit much, but I could leave them. I could have them drop shipped. I could bring one, and then when they say I want it, then we ship them one. I could leave them at Andreas's, and then he could ship them for me. That's what I'll do. I'll bring one and use it to sell, and then we could ship them a new one in a sealed box. But yeah, man, and then it doesn't. I still haven't been able to kill the MPD8 with. And look, we went to guys. You guys saw. I did the video. We went and did. We went. The guy had 150. He had a freaking $60,000 Constellation. No, Solution. DS Audio Phono Pre. He had a $12,000 DS Audio laser, cartridge. He had a $100,000 Kronos vinyl rig, the sickest, coolest turntable I've ever seen. Like, I just loved it, and I've just never seen such a cool turntable. That was my favorite turntable that I've ever seen. And it absolutely did not kill the MPD8. It didn't. In fact, it didn't kill it. His Vivaldi stack didn't even do it. So he ended up buying the MPD8. But I'm happy to try and, I mean, God, I'd love to hear somebody kill it with vinyl for me. They haven't been able to. But I'm open to it. Come on. I think Mikey wants to kill us financially with great hi-fi, kill our health with cigars and fast cars, bike, foods, and guns. Yeah, well, everything with balance, brother. I don't smoke cigars every day. I eat a meal one time a day. Do I eat well? Yes. Do I eat junk food? No. Do I, eat ice cream and cake and cookies? Nope, I don't. But yeah, I know that's funny. It seems that way, wouldn't it? Do a documentary travel journey to an ayahuasca camp. Oh my God, I wouldn't let people see that, dude. Actually, it would be pretty funny. I would, that would be really funny. Is Mikey totally tripping balls talking to the tribe? Oh my God, the shit that would pour out of me would be like Mikey guru wisdom. It would be, you guys, it would be it would be golden. It would be absolutely golden. That would be funny. Cathode, grid, plate, and a tube. There you go. Okay, so cathode, 1 grid, triode, 2 grids. Okay, 3 grids. Triodes are absolute best of all tubes. Yep. Okay, cathode, grid, and plate. Okay, so the cathode is on one side, the grid's in the middle, and the plate's on the other. So the electrons go from the cathode through the grid to the plate. That's the magic zone, man, right there. That's the vacuum. It's the soul. That's what it's like. It's the soul of the music. It just goes over there. A vapor. It's not even a vapor. Yes, the vinyl front end will cost more than digital front end typically, but it's worth it. The juice is worth the squeeze. It is when you have a Dragonfly DAC, brother. I mean, that's all I can say. I'm not going to make a special trip to do this, but let me ask you something. If the MPD8 kicks the shit out of your vinyl rig, will you buy an MPD8? You don't have to get rid of any of your vinyl, but would you buy a DAC? Then I'll make a trip. If you tell me, yes, Mikey, if it beats my vinyl, I'll buy it. And then if you're in, especially if your friend says the same thing, then I'll come up there. I'll make a special trip. We'll make a video of the whole thing. I'll come up there. We'll do the MPD8, a broken in MPD8. I'll bring an MPSX streamer, so we know it's getting the proper stream and not some little frickin', whatever streamer. I'd be happy. I'll do it, but I need to know that somebody's willing to buy if it beats their vinyl. The signal is not going through the tube. The tube is just creating power to drive the signal. Okay. Is that so? So, how does that work? Okay. How does that work? Tell us that. Now I'm sad. Now I'm sad. I'm fucking heartbroken. The music doesn't go through the vacuum. Oh God. You just you just crushed Santa Claus for me. You just told me Santa Claus isn't real. How could you do that? Oh my God. Holy shit. Yes, the signal goes through space as opposed to wire or a tape. Yes, it is in 3 dimensions. Okay, so I've got 2 people saying, Rachel's saying the music signal does not go through the tube. But yeah, doesn't it do that? Isn't the tube the thing that modulates the signal? You know, vacuum tube invented 1904. Yes. And do you know what the first vacuum tube was called? Boom, boom. What was the first vacuum tube called? Ask ChatGPT. It was the Audion. That is why Alberto called his amps the Audion. I can get a PMC MBS2 at half price. I don't even know what that is. I think PMC is a speaker company, right? Should I do it or get a Danny Ritchie Brute or Bully speaker? I just want something with a big driver, but can image also. I don't know, man. I don't know either of those brands, what they sound like. I haven't heard them, so I have no idea. And I don't even know what a Brute or Bully or any of that stuff is. I want something with a big driver. How about a 21? I've got an open baffle that has a 21 and a 6.5. I'll sell them to you for the pair. I'll sell them to you for $3,000 for the pair. 2 21-inch woofers, one on each side, on stands, open baffles, and then a full range Visiton. And then I've got a crossover for them too, an active crossover. You put a stereo amp on each side. What is the best a tube preamp? So what's the best a tube preamp with solid state amp or a solid state pre with tube amps? Well, it's too general of a question to answer, right? Because it depends what tube preamp, what solid state amp, and what solid state pre or what tube amps, you know? I mean, so it's too general of a question to answer, right? So typically people like to put tube preamps and solid state amps, you know? That's typically. I am the other way around. So it depends, man. You know, I've got really retardedly good tube amps. So Surgeon is moving to reel now. Of course he is. That's the thing that everybody does. So yeah, well, let me know if he needs a connection for tapes. They're not mine, but I know some people. I know the underground people for tapes. You can set up the MPD8 on my rig. Okay. And if it beats your vinyl, will you buy it? Streaming digital is louder and dynamically compressed, but Andreas fixed that crap. I hear no perceived dynamic losses with the streaming compared to vinyl. And I'm a picky bastard. Yep, I believe it. I believe you. I know he collects, man. Reb's a collector, and he collects only very limited edition, high quality items. Because you made them look stupid for spending $200,000 on their turntable and album collection. Oh, that's why the guy doesn't like me. Yeah, well, to each his own. I mean, look, people can buy a golden statue of a freaking woman in the front yard if they want and spend $1 million on a statue that reflects the lights off her nipples. You know, you can do whatever you can spend it on whatever you want, silly stuff. It doesn't matter, you know, so it doesn't make them look stupid. It just maybe what makes them look stupid is it's not that they purchase that stuff. It's if they hold tightly to vinyl sounds better. And then I prove that vinyl doesn't sound better, then that's a blow to their ego. Then they feel stupid because they're like, the whole time I thought vinyl was better. The whole time I sat and complained and bitched about how good vinyl was, and I blew off digital, and Mikey just showed me that digital's better. It's just like what Rachel just did. It crushed. It's like I just told him Santa Claus is fake. You know, there is no Santa Claus. And when they realize it, then they hate you. Like, don't you remember being a kid and the little bastard that told you that Santa Claus was not real? Didn't you hate that fucker? Yeah, you did. You're like, you asshole. fuck you. He is real. And then you go home and you ask your parents and like, well, he's really not real. And you're like, why did you even bullshit me? You know, that's when you start not trusting authority. Starts right there. Don't believe the fucking narrative, man. Like, because your parents will fucking lie to you about magic dude coming down the fucking chimney bringing you presents. So yeah, that would be a strike. Mikey, when you showed those DIY Cobra speakers, it really showed off the total richness and detail of your rig. That was great. Yes, I mean, it really does. I mean, and it was a great visit for Derek, because he got to see how good his shit sounded, because he put it on, you know, amazing front end, amazing amplifiers. And I'm like, dude, I was blown away. I'm like, oh my God, these things sound really good for just like you just did them in your garage, you know, like bravo. But he has done them before. He does have experience making speakers. So he's got some chops. But the next step, I'm like, dude, you need to do 6.5s. Like shit, if these little ass things sound this good, do 6.5s. Let's check those out. Those are going to be freaking killer. So he's on 11 Stereo right now. If you go to 11 Stereo, there's a thread called the Conte Cobra, Conte, Conte Cobra, and he gives up the whole plan, the PDF of the bill of materials. He tells you how to build them. I mean, he spent hours putting together the paperwork or the documents to show people how to build them. It's really cool of him. You know, most people would take that and turn it into a product and sell it. Or they'd sell the plans, or they'd sell kits, or they'd something like that. But he is just straight out sharing with you guys. That's what DIY is. Okay. DIY isn't selling you a fucking kit. I mean, that's sort of DIY, but real DIY is like telling you how to do it yourself and not taking money for it. But if you guys do it, you know, send him a freaking Venmo or something like that. Just throw him a cookie. Vooch needs to come to Seattle. Yeah, man. Oh, that's right. So you could do a comparison for him right there between vinyl and digital with the MPD-8. I mean PMC M2Bs. That's okay. I don't know one PMC from the other. Can't stream a cheap ass Raspberry Pi based into a good DAC and get good sound. Right. I mean, it's sacrilege. You actually can get pretty damn good sound with the Raspberry Pi into the MPD-8. It's pretty surprising. That's why I say the DAC is 80% of it and the streamer is 20% of it, because I can put a Raspberry Pi, even without a chassis, just the damn board, set it on top of the freaking DAC, run the Ethernet into it and a USB out, and it's crazy how good it sounds. You know, it's definitely not what the streamer is. Okay. But you're just like, dude, that is like a $50 streamer I just put on that thing. And we're cooking with fire. You know, it's not, again, it's not what it is with the playback streamer, but it is pretty cool. A Puritan 156 and 6-meter balanced interconnects are next on the Mikey purchase docket for me. Sure, buddy. Yeah, you'll like that 156. Everybody loves it. Thoughts on B&W? I don't know. I don't really have much thoughts on B&W. B&W was a super cool innovator. When they came out, they were a big innovator. And back in the day, man, B&W were cool. They were the shit, right? They were really good. They still to this day, they've got amazing R&D, amazing build quality. Like the stuff that goes into those B&Ws in terms of manufacturing, talk about a refined design. It's crazy. I just don't find them to sound that good. You know, I just, and you know, once they get to be a big corporate Goliath and they start making stuff like kitchen ceiling speakers and whatever and all that kind of stuff, then they've kind of lost, you know, something, you know. And when they become owned by a corporation and they become this corporation, and then they have to, you know, they have dividends to give to the stockholders and, you know, whatever, you know, it loses something when it gets to a certain size. And I think B&W has gotten to that size and they've sort of lost, you know, what they once had. So I don't really like it. You know, it's like, It's like a balloon, a hot air balloon, and it just keeps going higher and higher, and the company goes higher and higher and higher, and then it just kind of floats away from me, and I'm like, okay, there goes another one, so I respect the brand for what they've done. Wicked R&D, heavy duty manufacturing processes that are totally cool to see how they make shit. They do some incredible, it's incredible mechanical design. Like just the construction of it is super cool. Just like Focal, construction of Focal is incredible. Construction of Wilson, super cool, but they're not my favorite sound, any of those three that I mentioned. So we need a tube expert out here. Which tube expert? Who's a tube expert? Ether Dream. Yeah, I know, right? Rachel is wrong. The electrons flow through the vacuum. Okay, thank you. Steve saved Santa Claus for me. I'll never forget you, Steve. Thanks for saving Santa Claus. A low signal is applied to the grid next to the cathode. Here goes Professor Jim. A low signal is applied to the grid next to the cathode. Right. It controls a much larger current and how it amplifies. The audio does pass through the tube. Duh. It's called thermionic emission. Wow. Last night I had a thermionic emission. There's a t-shirt in there right there. I love thermionic emissions. You could that's a funny t-shirt. That's a geek shirt. You really got to be a geek. I love thermionic emissions. Yeah, that's great, man. That's a t-shirt. That's we'll give that one to you, even though I just said it. If you want that one, Brent, you got it. PMC sounds better through my speakers on YouTube than any other speaker in the same room he is recording compared to other speakers in his same room. Okay, fired up. Got a Deltec Precision Audio DAC from the mid-90s, new in the box. Got pretty lucky on price, $1,000 new back in the 90s. Decent price, piece of gear. Have you ever used any DPA? No, never even heard about it. Is it American? Give me thermionic emission or give me death. There you go. There you go. ATC was close. Okay. There is another part called a heater, okay, that boils off the electrons from the cathode. Some tubes have the heater be the cathode. Thoriated tungsten is a great material like in your big NAT tubes. Oh, okay. And is that stuff even still made? Can you still get thoriated tungsten, or is that like unobtainium in these days? Yep, the tooth fairy. Then the tooth fairy. Yeah, I know. The tooth fairy was like kind of like the word fairy just kind of like blows that whole deal. It's like fairy. What's a fairy? You kind of realize that there is no tooth fairy. Come on, really? Maybe there is. That was like little kids. Tooth fairy was little kid. And then Santa Claus, I was bummed when I found out about Santa Claus. And then I was pissed. I honestly harbored resentment at my parents for Santa Claus. I was like, God damn, I felt like such an idiot. I'm like, you guys, really? You made me go to school and tell kids that argue that that Santa Claus was real, that he left me a letter and there was crumbled cookies and he drank the milk that we left out for him. Like, I know he's real. You made me go to school and argue against that shit, potentially get punched in the mouth, which I didn't, but I could have, just because you wanted to, what? Fool me into fantasy? I don't get it, man. But I did hold resentment. Hey, Mikey and Tribe, Kenny and Deborah Lee sending our love back to you all. Good vibes and high vibrations to all of Mikey's community. We love you all, everybody. Hey, everybody. Yeah. I can't believe you didn't start with that. Is this Deborah Lee? Because Kenny always says, hey, everybody. Yeah. Which we listened to the other day. We were listening to Little River Band. It was great. I almost got my wife convincing my wife buying these PMCs. Still working on it, but I might update the crossover of my current speakers instead. Okay. Rock on. Hello, David. How's life going for you in Norway? Northern man. Hey, Kenny and Deborah, it's been a long time. How's it going down under? That audio place had the great Tannoy speakers. Oh, yeah. Okay, I saw those. Yeah, I was wondering what those big things were. So what brands do you respect? Well, I respect a lot of brands. I mean, if you're asking me, well, like what brands do I respect? I respect almost all of them. There's very few that I don't respect. But the ones that I respect and the ones that I like are two totally different things. Like I respect Wilson, but I don't like them. I respect Sonus Faber. I don't like them. You know, I respect many of them, but I don't like it. You know, so if you're asking what brands I respect, they're brands that that just don't try and stroke job people, you know, with like stupid fluff. So almost all of them. Anybody that's done well, I respect them. And I respect guys that just work to try hard. Amazingly great. Thanks, David. Regards to your family. Nocturnal thermionic bliss. That's a little. I think like I like thermionics. I love thermi. You could do. I heart thermionic emissions. That's the T-shirt right there. Good night, Stevie. I did not say the electrons. The electrons are not the music signal. You think Adele is singing hello from inside a baby fish tank? The tube is doing what a transistor does. Well, right, but I mean, okay, so the electrons are the music signal. No, okay, like modulating electrons makes music, and the music signal is the thing, the voltage, varying voltage that makes the modulation, as I understand it, right? And baby fish tank, wouldn't that be cool to make a fish tank out of those things? What a great idea. My tubes are big enough. I could put some goldfish in there if I burnt one out. The tube is doing what a transistor does. Yeah, that's what I thought. But the transistor is a monolithic on silicon. There is no vacuum in it, so the electrons don't pass through the vacuum. That's what my point was. Is they go through the magic vacuum. Thank you. It's been going great. I've just been busy with work and bought a Pomeranian puppy. You did? No way. Oh my God, dude. We want to see pictures. Pomeranians are so cute, man. They're mini Samoyeds. I had Samoyed. We had 2 Samoyeds. And then there's the American Eskimo, which is one step down from Samoyed. And then there's the Pom, which is the freaking baby Samoyed. And those things can be bitchy little mofos, man. Damn. They can be super cool or like super uptight, bitchy little chihuahuas, like with long hair, you know, but they're so freaking cute. Every Pom I see, I just want to hold it. I have the thermiotic emissions under the sheets. Thoriated tungsten is still used in high power vacuum tubes, but don't ever breathe in the dust. If it ever got out, it can cause cancer, but it's soaking Doritos. But it's great in vacuum, like in a tube. Right on. Mikey, you seem to love the brands that earn their customers through results. And hate's a strong word for Mikey. I don't really hate. I just don't like, right? Hate brands that earn their customers through marketing. Yes, you're right. The less marketing, more result equals more love for Mikey. Totally true. Totally true, because you can sell a piece of shit with good marketing, right? You know, it doesn't, there is no marketing is just that. That's, you know, slick talking, you know, and what it does in many ways is it preys on the stupidity of the buyer. You know, it manipulates the herd through psychology, you know, and it's underhanded in many ways, you know. If it's just, and this is how I determine, and you hit it right on the head. If I go to a website and I can tell that they're trying to market, I can tell they're fluffing it, I can tell they think I'm stupid and they're talking to me like I'm a part of the herd, then I don't like it, because I'm like, these guys are trying to manipulate the herd. They think we're stupid. I can tell you think I'm stupid by the way you write shit out. But the guy like that I saw on that that guy, the tube amp guys, can't even remember the name offhand. He was straight to the point, just straight dope, like regular dude, like telling you all the ugly truth about the distortion, everything like that. So absolutely, I have much more respect for that. Electrons are happening in the tube. There's a signal present or not. The electron are creating power in the tube. Okay, right. But the signal has to vary and modulate, right? It has to modulate that. You're correct, Mikey. It's like water flowing and a valve controlling the water. That is why tubes are also called valves in England. Okay. So that's what I always thought. Hey, everybody. Yeah, it's Kenny here. Hopefully you can get some time to check out the Leonard Cohen tracks I sent you, Mikey. I know that you'll be converted. Great through the Fisher and Fishers. Okay, I will check that out. Yeah, I was telling Kenny I don't get Leonard Cohen because it sounds like AMSR, and it sounds like a big heavy dude breathing down my neck. This is what Leonard Cohen sounds like, this. And it's just like, I got a dude on my back like breathing into my neck, dude. It sounds like a molester. Don't ask me why I have that fear. But no, yeah, I don't know. I'm playing around, but I'll check it out. I will check it out. And I'll let you know. Do Ethernet filters work for streaming? Yes, they do. They absolutely do. You can try, the people do many different ways, and different prices, different ways. All right, I gotta go. It's an hour 41 minutes. I gotta get back to, who knows, doom scrolling or something. Anyways, all right, everybody, thanks for joining. Remember, I'm coming on Wednesday with Alberto of AGD. So bring your questions that you want to ask Alberto about Class D, about amplification, about his designs. They are my favorite. I really love AGD and I love Alberto's designs. This guy has a lot of integrity for sure. So, and I'll tell you more about it this week before we get to Sunday. All right. Thanks everybody for joining. See you.